The secret of success is constancy to purpose. Benjamin Disraeli. And of course, if we translated that into modern day speech, it would be consistency of purpose. And my friends, that is what we do here every single day. Our secret of success is following these charts 10 to 15 minutes a day, every day. I emphasize every day, 10 to 15 minutes, that's all we need to practice these four charts that we follow. You can use our methods with any stock or ETF that is trackable, that is chartable, where you have verifiable weekly vertical crossovers that work. That is the key. We have a special training for you today. It's a really, really good one. Cutting losses is the key to winning. Now you might say, how do you win a football game if all you're doing is defending? That's not what we're talking about here. In our stack of cards, what we do is we focus, of course, on making profits, but what kills you is losing. That is why when we first go into a trade, we know what we're striving to receive from that trade because we use a backtracking method that allows us to look back in time, see what the average move on our practice trade is. We also go ahead at the very beginning and set our profit band or bands as well as our loss band. We always have one loss band. That means we clear out our trade if things don't work. And remember, your first loss is always your best loss. And then when it comes to profits, we make sure that we have a profit band set also. We can always move that up. We might have 2 or 3 profit bands. Why is that? We might sell a third of the trade when we hit a certain number, another third at another number, and the last third at the highest. Or we might have 2 bands. That means half goes at one point, half at another. Or we might just say up X% and out on everything. Again, that's based on our training and our experience. That's why we ask you, get the experience. It doesn't cost you anything to practice trade. 10 to 15 minutes a day. Thank you, folks, for everybody who's been buying the book and also the smart people that are signing up for the discounted price we have for you on TC2000. That is the charting software that we use every day. I use the web-based version, which is beautiful. I don't have to upload anything anywhere in the world. Get on any computer, log in, boom, there are my charts. And we also have for you, if you subscribe, we also have for you the layout that we use that you can upload right there and use every day. And the price is great, $25 off if you use our code. It's in your show notes. Now, let's keep moving along. We see the market swung back, so we're getting some swings down and up, down and up. When we look at what's happening, though, overall this week, we see that the S&P has a big down candle with a long wick on the bottom. Look at that price percent oscillator cranking down. We'll see how things end on Friday, but we may very well have a weekly vertical crossover going down. We'll wait and see. Now, again, this is a crazy, crazy time in the market. Of course, we are practice trading. We're not worried about losing real money. But again, I want you to practice as if you've got real money in the marketplace. And of course, as crazy as things are going to this election, who knows what the results of the election will be? Who knows how the market will respond? That's why we're going to let these charts lead us. So, we see things up for the day, 1.02%. We see the price percent oscillator spiking down, derivative oscillator spiking down on the weekly chart. 2-day, what do we see going on there? We see the 2-day continuing to move down strongly. Price percent oscillator is moving down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum, hitting a lower low. Now remember, this is just the first day of a 2-day candle. It will finish drawing at the end of the day on Friday. If it continues to move down, of course, that will close that second 2-day candle after the 2-day crossover going down. That will coincide potentially with a weekly vertical crossover move. So we'll continue to watch, see what happens there. What do we see on the half-day chart? Slow down in the down movement in the morning, little up move in the afternoon. Price percent oscillator nonetheless still heading down. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. So mark in your show notes That is on your daily market worksheet. Hopefully you're filling that out. Those are available for free. The PDFs are there in your show notes every day. If you're not a subscriber, go to chartingwealth.com, sign up. Means you get our special trainings every day. Means also that you have those PDFs available for you, plus the discounted codes and all the other stuff you need. So please subscribe for free. We see, again, we're going to be watching. Note, at the close of the market tomorrow, around 350, look for a weekly vertical crossover going down on the S&P 500. Now, let's move on to the Qs, up 1.75% for the day. Remember, we were down 3%. We were down over 3% yesterday on both these charts, the S&P and the NASDAQ 100, which is what the Qs are. Price percent oscillators pulling away from the red signal line, red down candle with a wick on the bottom. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Price percent oscillator heading down. 2-day chart, same thing. Price percent oscillator heading down, weakening a little bit. We haven't hit a lower low so far. If you look at the wick on the bottom, it's important to know how to read these Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. We have a great training on Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. It's the most popular training we've ever done. 150, 170. I don't even know how many people have listened to it, studied it so far. But of course, it is available at chartingwealth.com. I'll put it during the course of this video. You'll see a link to it in that gray box on the upper right-hand corner of the screen. For those of you who haven't taken it, you'll get a great deal out of it. So what we see happening is, of course, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Again, not hitting a lower low. We'll wait for this candle to finish drawing tomorrow, see if it plumbs a lower low at that point. So remember, we had that 2-day recross. You guys remember that? Yes, that occurred back on the ending of the candle at around 350 is when the buy-in point was for your practice trade. Going down, I know a bunch of you took advantage of it right over the course of those next 2 days when it plumbed those lows and you took your 2% or so up and out, and you're out of it now. So that's great. Those of you who are still staying in, make sure you continue to track what's happening with the 2-day and the weekly. You don't want to lose what you've gained. Look at the half-day chart. We see where things really slammed down on Wednesday, slowed down on Thursday morning, and popped up in the afternoon. So again, pay attention to that. That is your smallest chart. Remember, once you jump into a trade, you pay the most attention to what's going on the 2-day and the weekly. Now we're going to leave stocks, go to bonds. Bonds were up yesterday when stocks were hammering down. Bonds down a little bit today, 0.97%. But you see a solid green candle for the week, which means a slowdown in the down movement. It's not an up week. An up week is an open box green candle. For those of you who know how to, again, read the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks. Price percent oscillator still heading down. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Go to that 2-day chart. First day of the latest 2-day candle. Almost a doji. Lots of indecision. Price percent oscillator nonetheless is still heading down. It lost a lot of that downward momentum and then sort of squared off and started moving down again a little bit. Derivative oscillator still losing downward momentum. Go to that half-day chart. Still, we saw that where things had peaked. They basically peaked on Wednesday morning and then slowed down in the afternoon and really started moving down on Thursday. So you will note that the 2-day and the weekly are in confirmed down moves. That half-day chart is heading down. Who knows? It might cross over going down again in the morning. Might give you a chance, or in the afternoon, might give you a chance to look at the potential. Again, not a strong, we don't care so much for those half-day crossovers going down, but I don't discourage you from practice trading them, learning when they work on whatever specific chart you are using. And if you find that they do, then of course, by all means, it may be a certain time of year, maybe a specific stock or ETF, maybe when a number of factors come together that you have discovered. And these are the kinds of nuances that you learn from making sure that you keep your daily market worksheet, weekly market worksheet, and of course, most important of all, your trade worksheet. and that you fill those out and learn from those. That is how you supercharge your training and you get really good at this. Those of you just listen to us occasionally when the market's booming and you think you're going to come in and make a quick kill, our methods work very well. You can come in and have a successful practice trade every now and then, but you're not going to learn the nuances of what we do if you're not with us every day. So again, all we ask is 10 to 15 minutes. Now, and it doesn't cost you anything except that valuable time. And you have to be persistent, which I think is the most lacking of all human traits. Now, we see in gold down for the day 0.41%. What do we see overall on this weekly chart with gold? Tracking down. About the time everybody said gold's going to get up to $15,000 a share, it peaked and then rolled over as all the dummies were buying gold at the high who couldn't read a chart and did the dumb thing. Remember, the uninitiated, the people who don't understand, the unwise, some might call them fools. I say they can act foolish. Hopefully they're not fools. They always follow what they hear on TV, and it's always the worst time. So what do we see going on? Solid red down candle, down weak, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Price percent oscillator on that big weekly chart still going down. 2-day chart, we see where it's pulling away from the red signal line, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum, plumbing a lower low over the last few days, not hitting the low that we saw back in late September. So again, we'll continue to watch. Look at that. Look at the half-day chart, just stair-stepping down strongly. So again, we'll watch. I do believe gold, of course, is going to go up. I think it could go up to $15,000 an ounce. Who knows? I don't know. But I tell you what, I feel like it could as we continue to just create cash out of nothing. And gold is a store of value, has been for thousands of years. I don't think that's changing, but it's not doing that right now, my friends. Let's wait and watch and see, and we will trade gold in our practice trades when it turns around and starts going up for us. And we will ride that pony to success. So we'll continue to watch, see what's going on, let these charts lead us. Why? Because they work wonderfully well. That's where we are as we end the day on Thursday. Remember, be ready for a weekly vertical crossover going down on the S&P 500 at the close of the market tomorrow. Consider a practice trade. Again, all the charts all the time. Look at what's going on. Remember, we weren't happy about that last move on the weekly vertical crossover because things were very, very weak for up movement. Now it's reversed. So we'll pay close attention to that. Always love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to write us, cw@chartingwealth.com. Buy the book. Oh, Patreon. We have when the new month kicks in, we have a Patreon meeting that is coming up soon. And of course, all of our Patreon members, we want you to be with us. Those who want to be Patreon supporters, we are more than happy to have you. Our next Patreon meeting as we speak, I'm trying to look it up. It is it's always on a Wednesday, first Wednesday of the month. I can't get my notes up here, but we'll be sending that notice off. If you want to learn options, we've got the best options training in the world. I think it's for free at any of our 3 Patreon levels of support. God bless my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.